Well, good day and welcome to Drive Time today. One of the fundamental keys to success that we're going to discuss today, and I'll break it down into 5 parts, is that it's what you say to yourself about yourself when you're by yourself. Let me explain that. So, how you communicate with you. The things that go on in your head, the way you speak to you, the way you communicate with you, is what we're going to discuss today, and how that works and how that actually impacts your performance and business and life and just everything. Because ultimately it's not what others say, it's not what your mom said or what a teacher said or what anybody said, it's what you repeat to yourself. So how many ways and times do you repeat to yourself? And if you sit down and look at how much you repeat to yourself, how much of what you repeat to yourself is positive about you and how much of what you repeat to yourself is negative about you. So if we were to just sit on an average day and say, okay, I repeat to myself the positive things, and oftentimes we have to consciously do that. We have to actually be conscious about repeating the positive things to ourselves, because the negative ones seem to fall into place relatively quickly and relatively simply for a lot of people. But let's get down to how that actually happens. Go back to the statement. It's what you say to yourself about yourself when you're by yourself. So what feelings and emotions are you doing, and how do you look at yourself on a day-to-day basis is really what we're going to be sitting down and thinking about. Now, one of the things that, and the way I teach this, is to build a proactive set of statements that we say to ourselves, to proactively work on your I am statements. And it takes a little bit of study to understand that. There's about 4 sections of my 30X Life Challenge. If you've done the challenge, you'll know what I'm talking about with the I am statements and the identity iceberg and how that works with the be, do, have formula. But what we're sitting here thinking about today is, how do you actually create you? How do you proactively build yourself so that what you say to yourself about yourself is the positive side of things? How do we make that the reality? Because as a person, as a human, one of the natural things that humans do. Oh, thanks for typing in where you're at. Appreciate that, Linda. Good to have you here. Keep typing that in. Thanks, gang. So, by the way, if you're new to Drive Time, we all type in where we're at so we know where we're going on the drive today. If you are on a daily basis repeating to yourself positive statements, obviously you're building your identity. If you're repeating to yourself negative statements on a daily basis, obviously you're reducing your identity. And how do we get into that reduction of identity phase? Well, it's called sabotage or self-sabotage. And self-sabotage happens when our performance is above where we believe we should, could, or would need to be. When we see people achieving more than they thought they could, or more than they thought they deserve, or any of those things, we see self-sabotage kicking in. And I'm sure you've seen someone do the self-sabotage thing where, they stop making the phone calls to make sales, or they stop returning calls to build the relationship, or they stop doing the things to keep them healthy. And it's not about what they're doing, it's about what they've stopped doing in most cases. They were doing things that made them successful, and then they stopped doing that. So think of one thing that you used to do that made you successful in relationships, successful in health, successful in finances, successful in your job, whatever it is, and pick that back up again. Get back to doing that thing. What you say to yourself about yourself when you're by yourself means that we actually have to build a proactive set of statements about ourselves. I am statements, we term them, but in most cases it's about sitting down and actually investing time with yourself. Now, a lot of people don't do that. Some people call that meditation, some call it prayer, some call it, doesn't matter what you call it, just quiet time with yourself, because we spend so much time with the world coming in, music, or, even you go for a drive, you still got billboards. People go for a run, they've got the headset in with the things going on. Sometimes you just need that quiet time every day to do that. So let's break this into 5 things that you can do to make sure what you say to yourself about yourself when you're by yourself gives you a feeling of positivity, gives you a feeling of strength, and gives you that, you see yourself in a light that makes you stronger, better, faster, more passionate, all of those things about you. So number one thing that we can do is build a set of statements that allow us to make positive statements about ourselves, you know, and we have them, we have written them, we document them. If you want to study more about that, take my 30X Life Challenge and learn how to do that. If you kick off, you'll see that we actually have the Black Friday $99 special running through Christmas. So I'll get the team to put the link on that, because it's the simple thing. You pay for 3 days, I'm giving you all 30 days. It's no more complex than that, because I want people to make that shift this Christmas. Now, second thing you can do to make sure that what you say to yourself about yourself when you're by yourself gives you that positive whole thing. Notice a negative. Anytime you notice a negative, add 5 positives, okay? If you notice a negative, like you stand in front of the mirror and you say something negative about yourself, give yourself back 5 positives type thing. Mel Robbins does a great little book called The High Five Challenge. If you haven't read it, I'd suggest reading Mel's book. So giving yourself 5 positives every time you notice or catch a negative coming out of your mouth or out of your brain. Because, you know, I see people that, you know, they do the positive statements about themselves and their brain goes, yeah, not true. You know, so anytime you get the yeah, not true, you got to get back into that. Number 3 thing you can do is keep reading, okay? Keep studying, keep learning. The more learning you do, obviously, the more positivity that your brain reacts with, because learning stimulates ideas, ideas stimulate motivation, motivation stimulates action. So keep doing the learning day in, day out. Remember, when you set a bunch of goals, you got to grow into those goals. You can't just have them happen. You have to grow into them. 4th thing that you can do to make sure that what you say to yourself when you're by yourself about yourself is actually plan quiet time. Actually plan that time to be meditative. Actually plan that time to do that. So set a timer in your alarm, wake up 10 minutes earlier and spend 10 minutes with yourself, okay? Don't go to social media when you first wake up. Don't go to playing games on your phone or whatever it is you do. Go straight to investing 10 minutes with yourself. Find a chair, go sit in that chair for 10 minutes and just see your life in a positive light. If you need to study meditation, definitely go to 30X Life, and we do a whole section on it in there. Finally, 5th thing you can do to make sure that you are on track with that. I don't want to say it's easy. It might be simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. It's not easy to keep that ray of sunshine. Put some notes around the place, okay? Put some notes around the place with some on my computer. They pop up on my screensaver. I have them all over the place just to remind me about me. You know, you've got to build you. There's no other way to do it than you building you. No one's going to build you better than you can build you. So be strong, be well, keep thinking about yourself in that way. Make sure you build yourself up and see yourself in that positive light. Type in your biggest lesson today. What is the number 1 lesson for you? Take care. Bye for now. See you on the next drive time.